Feuding Bros, welcome back to a new video, and today is everything Man City. Just to resume our little section on the top teams in the Premier League. And yes, let's get into it, man. Let's talk about Man City. It's probably going to be the last club we're going to talk about, right?
Yeah.
For the new season. And Man City, who had a pretty lackluster season last year, very disappointing in terms of where they finished, according to the high standards that they set for themselves. And let's get into it. Let's talk about Man City. If you like this video, if you like what we do, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let's go. All right, guys, Man City, man. Let's talk about last season. What happened?
So much happened. I think we sat at the end of the season and tried to dissect.
So much didn't happen.
Yeah, right. We really tried. We sat down trying to figure it out. As you said just there, it's whether something happened or a whole bunch of things didn't happen. And I don't know, it's a mix of both. Like, there was a few incidents, the injuries, the main one, the Rodri injury that they completely wrote off the season over. There's also, a few circumstances. I think Allen had a good month off or something. So they did have injuries. They did have some circumstances that obviously all teams have. But as of what's the main reason of this slump, I will say we haven't been able to figure it out. Or if you guys have by now, let me know. But so far for me, I have not. We all blamed it on Rodri. But honestly, from what I was seeing during the games, my overall sentiment was that, man, this team looks tired. They just look tired. They look tired of probably hearing the same voice and telling them to do the same things, right? It's either you got to get the new fresh blood in, or you got to get the old head out. The old head being the bald head of, right? So, I think at the end of it all, I think most people will kind of put that as a slump, as just a blip in their progress. But I do think it was an indication as to there needs to be a renewal of either mentality or blood. And I think that's what they kind of started this summer, which I know we're going to talk about. But yeah, that's my overall sentiment about last season.
Yeah, I mean, it was poor. It was a poor season. It was a failure, whatever you want to say, like, or however you want to characterize it. It was not good in any way possible. Because it's Man City. I mean, for a lot of other teams, you finish third, you get to a final. It's not the end of the world, but because of the standards they set recently, they doing that. That was a very surprising season, because we all knew, we all expected, I think, that eventually they will fall off. Eventually they will come down a bit, because you can't just, like, they're humans as well. You can just win like year in, year out. So we expected a fall, but I don't think anybody expected a fall quite like this. And I know they finished the
just real quickly on that. It wasn't just the results that was the biggest problem. Obviously, that was a problem in highlighting the performance. That's what the biggest downfall was for me.
Yes, and that's what I was even gonna get to, because I know in the end they finished third in the league, because they I think the last 10 games they actually got a good string of results out of the 10-15 games of the season. But man, for a lot of the season, man, they look bad, man. Like you said, Freddie, they look very tired. I don't know if he was tired of hearing the same things, or maybe tired physically. But they look just leggy and just a step behind. They just looked like they were, everything was that 10% slower. And in the Premier League, when you just drop off that little bit, like, you get punished. And especially in midfield, we saw the main issues they had was they just couldn't get around the field, after obviously missing Rodri, which is a big miss. I mean, he won the Ballon d'Or, so I mean, he was massive for them. I don't think we realized how massive he was for them until he got injured, but it was massive for them. But just missing one player, yes, they did have other injuries after that, but just missing one player should not derail your season that much, I think. But
that much,
So, I mean, it was tough work for Man City. I mean, we expected a drop off. It was a very big drop off. I think at one point they hadn't won a game for like 10 or 12 games or something like that, which is like mad to think about Pep Guardiola not winning a game for 12 games. And I thought he was gonna quit. Honestly, I was thinking like this looks this one, like, there was that one game where he's crashed himself and like he was this one is depressed, bro. Like, so
he had a lot going on too. That's true.
He did have with the divorce as well, so he had a lot going on, and they all hit him at once, which is tough. It's very, very tough. So yeah, I mean they settled the ship towards the end, and they got a respectable finish in the end. And I mean it's their off season, which I think they're entitled to, with what they've done so far. But it was very, very bad, and we're gonna talk about how. Yeah, like Freddie said, maybe they need that new blood for the next season. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but is it also the fact that they've won so much that a little bit of complacency just kind of crept in from last season? Because when you say that they look tired, yes, but I mean they look tired, but it's still Man City. They should have a squad to cope with that, and the seasons were kind of similar for them because for the past 6-7 years you involved in all the competitions, so you should have experience with that. I think there's a bit of complacency that came in, maybe the motivation, and also the fact that the team is aging. The team is aging. Last season we had yes, Roger was out, but I mean, when you the Bernardo Silvas, the Kevin De Bruyne, those are main players for them that were still getting a lot of minutes. Well, Kevin De Bruyne a little bit less towards Gundogan and that. And in the Premier League, you need the experience, but you also need the legs. And I think the legs were lacking a little bit in terms of that. Also, as well, people that didn't perform. Like, what was Phil Foden last year? Just nowhere to be seen.
It disappeared.
After a year where he was the PFA Player of the Year, it was that was supposed to be easier to kick on. He didn't. Players like Doku that came in, in and out the team, never really settled. Savinho, same thing. He came in January, never really settled. Nico Gonzalez came in, supposed to come in.
Is he still there? He played like 2 games, I feel.
He's supposed to replace Rodri, disappeared. And obviously defensively, we know the defense because the keeper just shown to be like Onana 2.0.
Crazy.
It's just, I think it's just done now. I think,
I think they're keeping him, no?
Yeah, but I mean, they got a new keeper. They got Trafford.
Yeah,
right? So
number one no more.
That just shows that Guardiola's had enough, or just he's telling him, bro, I got you on my eye, man. I mean, because you can't.
And let's think of Ortega as well.
Yeah, Ortega as well. Ortega is still there, but it's not great. I think it's a bit
not great.
And defensively as well, like beyond Diaz, form of these people back there is a bit up and down.
Yeah.
So there was all these things from last year that probably factored into the fact that they didn't have a great year. But I think the main fact that it was that just complacency. They just probably came in, think that the Man City, they're just gonna come in and roll everybody over. They're probably gonna have 2 tough games in a year. It's probably gonna be Arsenal and Liverpool, and then the rest we're just gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
And that just caught up on them.
Yeah.
That was sorry, just quick, I think that was a conscious or unconscious kind of laxism.
No, it can't be consciously, because that means that you going out of your way to down tools, and that as a professional, if that's the case, that's horrible. You can't.
Maybe after Rodri's injury,
you can't. No, I don't think so. I think, well, I mean, Rodri Rodri was injured before the season started, right?
Yeah, no. He got injured. I think it was 5 or 6 games in.
No, it was not even that thing.
No, he was. Yeah, because he played. You guys play Arsenal in the first. It was in the first 10 games.
Was it? Okay. Yeah. But I mean, it was pretty early, so I mean that can't just blow everything out of the water. Just one injury like that. Mm-hmm. I think it was probably unconscious, because when you have so much success as well, it just comes naturally. Because if it is conscious, but I can't imagine just a player just be like, okay, I'm not gonna, put in 100%.
Just like probably you said, like when I'm thinking conscious, I'm thinking what you said, like, oh yeah, we only have 2 teams to beat. The other ones we can write off. The other teams, there's nobody that's gonna come anywhere close anyway. So let's just play 50% of our energy.
I think that counts because you're so dominant in the league anyway.
Yeah.
You're so dominant. and they're used to beating, especially the smaller teams. They're used to beating 4-5.
Yes.
They're used to doing that to most people. And since they kept the core of players that they did, I mean, and this is just speculation. This is just my
right. Yeah.
Of course.
and since you keep the core players that you have, and you added a little bit more in terms of players that came in, supposed to be very exciting. I mean, when Doku came, that was a brilliant signing for them. Marmoush came in, also a brilliant signing, and even the Savinhos and that. And so just subconsciously, you probably just come in and just going to go through the motion and it's going to be all right. But the Premier League is not, and that would probably work maybe in like other leagues, maybe La Liga, or maybe leagues like that. But in the Premier League is very different. Premier League is very different, and every game is a struggle, and that's what they probably found out.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say like, do you guys think as well? I was gonna ask, do you guys think as well, like, maybe going on as well from Freddie, what Freddie said, if maybe they were getting tired of hearing the same message. Do you guys think as well there was a thing of maybe Guardiola's tactics not just not being good enough as well?
But I don't really subscribe to that. How can you be tired of a message that makes you win every year? I mean, why would you be tired of that?
I mean, we see that with Conte as well.
It's a formula that's proven to win. So why would you be tired of that? Would you be tired of winning?
We've seen that with other managers. Like we've seen that with Conte. Like that's why he doesn't stay at clubs.
No, I don't think so. I think it's just fresh blood that they needed. It's just fresh blood needed in key positions, which it didn't. I mean, the midfield was just. I think they started to address stuff in January.
It was too late.
January was kind of late. Because now you're playing catch up, and you have to bank on the fact that your new signings come in and hit the ground running as straight away, which not all of them did.
For 6, that's too hard, man.
Yeah, we spoke about Nico Gonzalez, for example. So. Yeah, I don't think that. I mean, if you're tired of a message that makes you win all the time, and there's a problem with you.
How much is this on Guardiola, or is it just the players just didn't do what they needed to do?
The main criticism I had, and I think most people had with Guardiola, is they were talking about, what doesn't he adapt to the fact that Rodri is not here. Why can't you reinforce your midfield? Why can't you do more with the defense? Because that was the main problem. They were leaking goals like left and right, even against the smallest teams. So the thing to that, I do have to line up with Jan as well. The man's strategy has been working for years. Now you're gonna teach him how to play, the game. I don't think so. I think he did.
We've seen that though. I mean, Mourinho, his stuff worked for years as well, and then he stops working. Like things change.
Things change, and that's when you fail to adapt. But I don't think they reached that stage where, yes, at some point we saw it as well. He did adapt. That's the thing. Let's not forget. Guardiola does adapt. He made his football a little bit more dynamic, especially in the year where they won the Champions League. I will say last year was not a good example of that. I do think he adapts, maybe not to the level that you will want, or maybe most people will want. That was his main criticism. Why didn't you adapt? Why didn't you change a little bit of things here and there? But again, he does have a lot. That's what I'm saying. He has a lot in the bank. Like that's a guy that's done trebles and quadruples for years and stuff with different clubs. You gonna come one day and just because he has one off season, you're gonna teach him the game? I don't think that's right. So you do have to
exactly. It's a one-off season, and that's probably how he's gonna look at it. And we've spoken about his personal issues as well. I mean, he's a year on from that, and he probably has a clearer head now. Hopefully for him, and is made signings that addresses a lot of the problems that he had. So I think I don't have them as favorite to win the league, and we will get onto that when we do our predictions, where they can finish in the league. But I still think that they'll be there or they're up there to compete, and
for sure.
And if after this year, if they have a disastrous season like they've had last season, then questions probably going to start to be asked. But I think right now, and I think most of the City fans as well are like that. Is just like it's probably a blip, It's probably a blip. We've won so much, and we can't win every year basically, and that's what it's going to be. But let's just segue from the discussion and just talk about the sign.